raising of state and local authorities, support to the work done by the NGOs, and also access to justice for women. So this was, I would say, the first phase, once again, 2004, 2005, 2006. Now the focus is more precise given the achievement, the progress which have been achieved. The most recent project related to the following issues: small and medium enterprises, I mean the ability for women to lead, develop their own firms, their own enterprise. Also, the situation of women who are infected by HIV/AIDS and which are confronted to very difficult choices and situations. So there was a project dedicated to women infected by this dreadful disease. Also, a project was devoted to monitoring the implementation of gender rights through the implementation of gender plans as a part of monitoring the implementation of the Kazakhstani National Human Rights Action Plan. Those were the last project we developed those last years. And now, briefly, just let me mention the ongoing project, because we are still ongoing project. There is one which is very focused. Once again, we become more and more focused since the general landscape has so much improved in Kazakhstan. There's a project which is about which benefit from €500,000 of support, which is about strengthening tourism sector, enhancing business intermediary organization capacity to assist tourism at the service of women. It's really about helping women to develop activities which will support tourism. And indeed, this is about also encouraging small and medium enterprises. This is at the service of women, but also of the economic diversification of the country, because we know that a real sound economic fabric of a country needs prosperous small and medium enterprises, and indeed women are the best indicator quite often to lead them. The second program is a model program against the spread of HIV/AIDS and tuberculosis in women's prisons. This is a phenomenon which may not be at the forefront of the newspapers on a daily basis. Nevertheless, it is a very important issue which must not be forgotten. It has about 132,000 euros as a support, and the idea is to improve the the situation of prevention, improve the ability to diagnose as early as possible, and also to support effort to rehabilitate those women who are infected by those diseases. We developed it together with the Kazakhstani ministries. We also address and support the training, both of women in prison and also of the prison staff, for them to have a better understanding of what is at stake and what should be done. And also we are supporting for the transition of medical services of prison from the Ministry of Justice to the Ministry of Health. And let me terminate by perhaps a nicer thing, if I may say, which is a project which has just finished, but let's say it is almost ongoing, which is a support for maternal and child health in Kazakhstan. Because, I mean, women are also children somewhere, and it is not something which has to be seen in an antithesis with women entrepreneurs. Support for maternal and child health in Kazakhstan. It is a project that we implement together with the World Health Organization. EU contribution is 1,100,000 euros, and it is about improving the health status of women of childbearing age, infants and children. And indeed, this may seem a given in privileged circles, but it may not be self-evident in all parts of a country, even as developed and rich as Kazakhstan. And this was clearly part of an EU-UN approach through the WHO, and it was presented, it is a contribution to the implementation of the Millennium Development Goals, especially the MDG 4 and 5, about reducing child mortality and improving maternal health. So, let me terminate by this and underline that, as you may have seen, the cooperation between the EU and Kazakhstan also on these issues has borne fruit. It has allowed a number of key improvements. This is why our projects become more and more focused. We are committed to continue, and we consider that the meeting today is really a milestone in taking stock of what is being done and identifying further prospects. Thank you very much for your attention.
Участники Конгресса, на первой сессии мы подробно обсудили вопросы о положениях стран Центральной Азии, о положениях женщин, поделились конкретным опытом, поднимались вопросы о квотировании, вопросы выравнивания заработной платы женщин и мужчин, об усилении роли НПО, о международном опыте. Я думаю, многие предложения, которые спикеры подняли, найдут отражение в итоговом документе, но у нас сейчас есть продолжение, другая сессия о роли женщин в предпринимательстве, поэтому я хочу дальше передать слово спикеру данной панели Лязат Евгеньевне Ибрагимовой, председателю Фонда развития предпринимательства «Даму». И прошу подняться, сказать спасибо еще раз нашим спикерам и подняться следующим выступающим.
Уважаемые участники Конгресса, давайте сделаем вторую неофициальную часть, более интересной, неформальной, потому что у нас есть очень много интересных женщин-спикеров, которым можно задать вопросы и получить очень интересные ответы. Поэтому я хочу пригласить наших спикеров второй сессии пройти на трибуну и предупредить. Во-первых, мы держимся строго регламента, выступаем от 3 до 4 минут. Во-вторых, мы хотим пригласить сейчас госпожу леди Барбару Томас-Жаш. Она является почетным председателем Агентства атомной энергетики Великобритании. Кроме этого, она является председателем школы изучения стран Востока и Африки. И также она является сопредседателем целевой группы Великобритании и США по корпоративному управлению. Она является независимым директором многих крупных зарубежных корпораций и один из тех людей, которые продвигает идею женского лидерства постоянно на международной арене. Поэтому сейчас для приветственной речи я приглашаю леди Барбару Томас-Джаш. Пожалуйста.
Can you hear me now? Because I couldn't hear so well when I was listening to those other very interesting ladies. So I'm going to tell you that you are all a dream come true. That when I was young, you couldn't get this many ladies in America to come to a Congress because there weren't this many ladies who had serious jobs. Indeed, when I was young, my mother used to teach women to go to work. And what did she teach them? She taught them to wear white gloves, to write a CV, and to answer the ads in the newspaper, even if it said men wanted. And people thought she was so strange that she was on a television show called To Tell the Truth, which was about people who had very strange occupations. And her strange occupations was to teach women to go to work who didn't have to. And after her on the television program was the snake charmer. That's how strange it was to teach women to go to work in the 50s. They were like straight snake charmers. And today, look at all of the women in this room who have serious and high-powered jobs. And I'm going to not talk about the legislation that all the women before us have put in place and all the ways that the rules have changed so that women have a possibility to go to work, but that we have to go to work and we have to teach our children and especially our daughters, but our sons and our daughters, that women should work. You know, there used to be a saying that if you educate a man, you educate a man. But if you educate a woman, you educate a family. And we need to help each other. We need to help each other to go to work. And we need to tell our sons that it's right that our daughters go to school and they go to work. Because working is empowerment. You need to have your own money. You're not the servant of some man. You're not just born to take care of him or his children, but you need to be a person so that you can make a contribution to society. The women before us have changed society so that we can work, but we have to help other people go to work. We have to be role models, and we have to help each other. We have to help other women to get ahead. That's very important. I believe, and this is just my opening comment, that my mother used to say, a good job is harder to find than a good nanny. We can't let other women make us feel bad because we go to work and we don't stay home with our children. We have to let other people take care of the children. My mother also used to say, you don't have to be there to do what an 18-year-old girl can do. You need to go to work and have a profession. You can't spend your life worrying about your children because your children will grow up and then you will have nothing. So my early message is that we have to work ourselves. We have to teach both our sons and our daughters that it's right for children, for women to work. And we have to tell our employers that we want to progress. They say about women that we don't talk about how much our ambition is, that we don't apply for jobs unless we are overqualified, whereas men apply for jobs just because they want them. Well, I want you to know that when I applied for the job as chairman of the Atomic Energy Authority, which I had for almost 10 years, I never took science before. But I went to the interview and I said, when they said, why do you want a job on the board of the Atomic Energy Authority? I said I was smart, I had very good grades.